All right, boys and girls, we're here with our final algebra video of the year. It's just a video to help set up your final Chapter 9 test, which is actually not a test at all. It's another project. Okay? What is a test? I don't know. I guess it's an opportunity to demonstrate knowledge over a certain amount of material. One thing I know is that in real life, not in this fake school world, but in real life, the test comes first and the lesson comes second. So, your test is actually a research project, possibly your first research project. Here are the steps. Let's focus on the steps, then I'll go backwards through the steps and talk about an example. So, step 1, hypothesize a correlation between two things. I believe that someone's hand span is related to their wingspan. I believe that someone with a bigger hand span will have a bigger wingspan. Okay, we've already done that one, so you can't use that one. Step 2, research or sample your data. You must have 40 samples. You can do this with just like interviews. You could use Google Forms. You could go to lunch. You could stay in the Innovation Lab. You could go to the mall. Whatever you do, you're just going to describe to me how you sampled your data. Step 3, create 3 visual representations of the data I gave you from examples that I'll go over. Step 4, use technology to find a linear regression line and also record your correlation coefficient. Step 5, write a synopsis of your findings. Discuss whether your hypothesis was correct, incorrect, or whether more research is required at this time. You don't have to go in and do the more research. You just have to come to a conclusion. And then step 6, email or share your Google Doc with Mr. Euland with all of the steps from above. So, I think that dogs that weigh less bark more. So I think there is a correlation between the weight of a dog and how often they bark. In this case, it'd be a negative correlation. As a dog's weight went up, its bark would go down. That's just my hypothesis. So what would I do? I don't know. Maybe I would survey 40 Sycamore High School students that had dogs and ask them 2 questions. Rate your dog on a scale of 1 to 10 based on their weight, and a scale of 1 to 10 based on how often your dog barks. For that, I might choose, I don't know, lots of different ways to present the data. I know how to find a regression line in my graphing calculator. You know, if I didn't know how to do like a box and whisker plot, I would just Google, how do you do a box and whisker plot on Google Sheets? Or how do you do a scatter plot on Google Sheets? You're going to find out a way to do it. My buddy Carson, he did his box and whisker plot on his graphing calculator and then took a picture and included it in his document. That was a great way to do it. Okay? Then I would write a synopsis of my findings. I am prepared to show you an example of that. I found this to be a great example. Here you got the data. You got a frequency chart, a relative frequency chart, some box and whiskers. But here's the summary. The experiment concluded there was no correlation between how much exercise versus how much your GPA is. Evidence to support this was that the linear regression line came up to be this. And the E stands for 0 since it's in scientific notation, which means there's very close to 0 slope. The correlation coefficient is negative. It states that. There are also some possible outliers. So this is a decent write-up. It's also the first one I got. So I'm expecting all the ones that follow this to be just as good, if not better, than this write-up. But this gives you an idea of what the length is. I'm not looking for a book. I'm looking for some good math words. I hope this helps you get ready for your project. It will be listed on Blackboard as soon as I print this video or publish this video. Boom!